The theme of the presentation is how mediatization of our everyday life and media experience itself influences the micro-realities we each live in as individuals. Currently, much of the world is concerned about the COVID-19, and every day we experience the impact of this virus through the media, because the virus is not always visible through our own eyes. People are asked to stay at home in Rotterdam and hereby forced to live their life through the media. Everyday things in Rotterdam, such as meeting friends and going to college, are forced to continue through online sources. You can describe Rotterdam as a mediopolis. In the article of Mark Doise, this is described to be a mediated public space where media support and overarch the experience and expressions of our everyday life. Secondly, with your everyday life being forced to be online, you see the concept of parallax reality, theorized by Slavoj Žižek. People in Rotterdam inevitably engage with reality on the basis of a constant movement in between what we perceive and what is obvious, using the tools and techniques of digital and network media to edit and remix both our perceptions and the appearance of the reality around us. As our evidence, we have decided to interview a single household with comparable profiles and their opinions on the coronavirus. This global pandemic resulted in daily lives being consumed by media as passing time, education, and socialization. In such circumstances, we rely heavily on the media to inform us on the news. The mediopolis represents the physical landscape, which is the same for every housemate. However, just because the circumstances are the same, ideologies and opinions, or even their parallax realities about the exact same topics, might vary a lot depending on their sources, influences, and media platforms. In our field research, we have seen that all subjects use Instagram and WhatsApp as social media. However, our second subject also uses Facebook Messenger, and a third subject also uses Snapchat. All the subjects follow international news sources like BBC and CNN. However, they all also follow their own national news sources like Danish, Dutch, and German news sources. On our question about the coronavirus opinions, we noticed differences. The first subject wasn't scared of getting it at all. The second subject was very scared of getting it, not only for themselves, but also for public health. Third subject didn't really worry about the coronavirus because she thought the news media made it too confusing for her to grasp. As you can see from the interviews, there are obvious differences between individuals and their parallax realities. These differences in realities are enhanced and maybe even exaggerated in comparison to normal mediatization usage and exposure. This is due to the inflated influence and usage of media platforms as a result of COVID-19, which is why now small differences are magnified and exposed more clearly, like countries could play a part, as Germany and the Netherlands are generally more similar to each other than Denmark, Scandinavia. Although all the subjects live in the same geographical location and fall within the same demographic of age, gender, and education, they have pretty different ideologies about the situation. This is due to differences in media choices, news sources, contact with different spheres, each with their own individual reality dependent on their personal mediatization.